Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine and its worldwide box office run, which has now smashed $1.3 billion globally, worldwide at the box office. We all knew this movie was going to be big, and it just went to prove us right. People went out in droves, and it had good word of mouth, and it just did really well in its box office run. So we're going to be breaking down its box office, comparing it to the worldwide all-time movies when it comes to box office rankings, and also we'll compare it to other MCU movies and see where it lands when it comes to its box office run. So let's dive into this Cosmic Book News article, let's break it all down, and let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine and its box office revenue. So, Deadpool and Wolverine, box office, smashes $1.3 billion, passes Star Wars, eyes the Avengers. So, Deadpool and Wolverine continues to crush it at the box office. The film has now surpassed $1.3 billion at the box office. Like I said, we all knew this movie was going to be big. Some people said that it wouldn't go above $1 billion. Some people thought around 800, 900 million. Some people were saying $2 billion. That was way too optimistic in my opinion. But 1.3... that seems like the perfect run, in my opinion. It's not too low, it's not too high. And yeah, 1.3 billion for this movie is all kinds of insane. So, 1.3 million at the box office, and also passed Star Wars The Last Jedi on the all-time domestic charts, and is setting its sights on the Avengers. The fact that it passed the Star Wars movie, that's a pretty big accolade, you know, in the belt of kind of awards that we should give to Deadpool and Wolverine. So, as of this weekend, Deadpool and Wolverine is the 14th highest grossing film of all time in the US, with $621 million earned in just 8 weeks. This surpasses Star Wars The Last Jedi's total domestic run of $620. So it beat Star Wars The Last Jedi's domestic run by $1 million. Whether it's $1 million, whether it's $1, whether it's 10, whether it's 100, it still doesn't matter. It still beat Star Wars The Last Jedi's domestic run, which is a pretty incredible thing to say. Great picture here of Wade Wilson holding his dog. A Dogpool in that movie, he was so fun. It was so great to see Dogpool in there. So estimates suggest that Deadpool and Wolverine could reach as high as $640 million or more domestically, which would place the film at number 12 on the all-time domestic chart, surpassing Barbie. I mean, all-time domestic chart of being number 12, that's massive for a Deadpool movie. That's really good. Deadpool and Wolverine is set to surpass the Avengers' $623 million domestic box office this week, which will also make it the 5th highest grossing MCU film domestically of all time. Again, one of the highest grossing domestic MCU films as well. So this movie, all across the board, has just absolutely nailed it with its box office revenue. Great picture here of Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and obviously Sean Levy, the director of the movie. So it also currently the 7th highest grossing MCU movie worldwide, trailing Black Panther. On the global charts, Deadpool and Wolverine is currently ranked at number 23, but will climb to number 22 or higher this week. Being in the top 25 movies of all time on the global chart of box office revenue is absolutely crazy. For this movie, it's an R-rated movie as well, guys. That's one thing we need to take into consideration here, the fact that it's an R-rated movie. And it just goes to show, with Joker being a billion-dollar film, that first Joker movie being R-rated, obviously the second one's R-rated as well, I believe. And now we've got Deadpool, another R-rated movie that smashed over $1 billion and is number 23 on the global box office rankings. It goes to show that there is this really kind of big hunger out there from the comic book audience that want R-rated material. And let's hope that Disney and DC take that on board and they continue to make more R-rated movies. So let's check out the charts below. Another great picture here. This isn't really a spoiler at this point. If you haven't seen the movie, then that's kind of on you. I don't consider this a spoiler. The movie's been out long enough now. So, obviously, we've got Chris Evans here. He's back as Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four role in Deadpool and Wolverine. Like I say, if you haven't seen the movie by now, then, you know, you're obviously not interested, so this isn't a spoiler. We've got Hugh Jackman, we've got Chris Evans, and we've got Ryan Reynolds. But to see Chris Evans back as Johnny Storm, that was such a fun moment in the movie. The pop that I got in my cinema was absolutely massive. So let's jump into the Deadpool and Wolverine movie and break down the box office run. So domestically, it made $621 million, 495,644. International, it made $683 million, 500,000. and worldwide it made 1,304,995,644. Again, having a 1.3 billion box office run for an R-rated comic book movie of this nature. Again, it's crazy. People knew it was going to be big, and this just goes to show how right those people were. So, okay, we have a rather serious looking picture of Ryan Reynolds dressed as Deadpool, and it looks like there's a dollhouse and a pram, a pink pram. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on in this picture, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna dive into it too deep, but as long as he's enjoying himself, I guess. So MCU highest grossing movies domestic. So let's jump into this, the top 10 domestic MCU movies, and see where Deadpool and Wolverine fits into this list. So number 1, Avengers Endgame, 858 million. Spider-Man No Way Home, 804 million. Black Panther at number 3, 700 million. Number 4, Avengers Infinity War, 678 million. Number 5, The Avengers, 623 million. Deadpool and Wolverine, 621 million. Number 7, Avengers Age of Ultron, 459 million. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 453 million. Number 9, Captain Marvel, 426 million. And then number 10, finally, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 411 million. So Deadpool and Wolverine at 621 million domestically sits right in the middle of that kind of top 10 list at number 6. That's a great place for it to sit, and it's almost just about to beat out the Avengers. If it can make an extra couple $1 million, it's going to overtake the Avengers for the domestic box office total, which is kind of crazy because you have to think how popular that first Avengers movie was, and for Deadpool and Wolverine to beat that domestically, it's a pretty crazy thing to be saying, you know. But hopefully it can do it. If it does, then all the more power to it. It's a great movie, so if it beats the Avengers, then that'll be something else we'll be talking about on the channel in the next couple of weeks. So let's go down. Okay, so we have a still here from the movie. We have Deadpool using a Deadpool variant corpse with no head as a meat shield. This is definitely something that Deadpool would do, using a corpse as a meat shield. Yeah, I remember this part of the movie quite fondly. It was quite funny. For those of you who have seen it, I'm sure most of you have by this point. That was quite a funny scene. Let's keep going down. So, the MCU highest grossing movies worldwide. So, this is overall worldwide, not domestically. So, this is the entire world. Let's see where Deadpool and Wolverine fits into the worldwide MCU top 10 list. So, starting off at number 1, Avengers Endgame at 2.7 billion. Pretty much 2.8 billion, to be honest. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War at 2 billion. Number 3, Spider-Man No Way Home at 1.9 billion. Do you know what? Even to this day, I still cannot get over that Spider-Man No Way Home nearly made $2 billion. If anyone ever tells you that Spider-Man is not a popular character, point them to that. Nearly $2 billion for a Spider-Man movie. That's insane. So, number 4, The Avengers at 1.5 billion. Number 5, Avengers Age of Ultron at 1.4 billion. Number 6, Black Panther at 1.3 billion. We come to number 7, Deadpool and Wolverine at 1.3 billion. Number 8, Iron Man 3 at 1.2 billion. Number 9, Captain America Civil War at 1.1 billion. And Spider-Man Far From Home at 1.1 billion. So again, Deadpool and Wolverine is near enough in the middle. It's at number 7, so it's a little bit more down towards the bottom end of the list. But still, 1.3 billion. It puts it at number 7 for the highest grossing MCU movies of all time. It's an R-rated comic book movie, and it's at number 7. It's at number 7 worldwide for MCU highest grossing movies, and domestically, it's at number 6. So, you know, it's pretty incredible what this movie has managed to do. And I keep going back to the fact that it's R-rated. It just goes to show there is that hunger out there that people want these R-rated movies. Look at this picture. He's pointing at his belly button. His belly button's coming through the suit, and Ryan Reynolds is sticking his finger in his belly button. Could you even imagine working with Ryan Reynolds on these movies? It must be such a fun time just to mess around with him on set between takes. I bet it's such a fun thing to do. Like, so top lifetime grosses domestically. So we're talking about all-time domestic now, not just MCU, all-time domestic for all films. Let's see where Deadpool and Wolverine fits into that. So number 1, Star Wars, The Force Awakens at 936 million. Avengers Endgame, 858. Spider-Man No Way Home, 814 million. Avatar, 785 million. Number 5, Top Gun Maverick is 718 million. Black Panther, 700 million. Avatar The Way of Water, 684. Number 8, Avengers Infinity War at 678 million. Number 9, Titanic, 674 million. Jurassic World at 653 million. That was number 10. Number 11, Inside Out 2, 652 million. Number 12, Barbie, 636 million. Number 13, The Avengers, 623 million. Number 14, Deadpool and Wolverine at 621 million. And number 15, at the end, Star Wars The Last Jedi, 620 million. So when it comes to all-time grosses domestically in the United States, Deadpool and Wolverine sits at number 14. So again, the accolade of it sitting at number 14 of the all-time domestic grossing movies is just insane. I can't overstate just how crazy this movie is done, considering it being R-rated. So we have another nice picture here of obviously I keep wanting to call him Wade Wilson, but it's not Wade Wilson, it's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and obviously the guy who played Blade, Wesley Snipes. Almost forgot his name then. Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes. The fact that Wesley Snipes came back to play Blade, and now people are thinking that because the Mahershala Ali Blade movie is in trouble and potentially being cancelled, a lot of people want Wesley Snipes Blade to come back, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I think a lot of people would love to see it, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So, top lifetime grosses worldwide. So, we have all of these as well, guys. I'm not going to list out all of this because I've pretty much just gone through all these numbers, so I'm not going to read them all again. Basically, we'll read the top 3 and then we'll read Deadpool and Wolverine. So, the top 3, Avatar at 2.9 billion. I can't even get over that. Like, I know I said about Spider-Man No Way Home making 1.9 billion, but the fact that Avatar almost grossed $3 billion, that amount of money just, I can't even comprehend. Like, that's just insane. Nearly $3 billion. It's not going to be beaten for a long time. Avengers Endgame at 2.7 billion, and Avatar The Way of Water, again, 2.3 billion. So that's crazy. The next Avatar movie is going to make the same amount of money. Avatar is just a printing machine when it comes to money. So that's the top 3. Avatar, Avengers, Endgame, and Avatar The Way of Water. And Deadpool and Wolverine sits at number 23 at 1.3 billion. Guys, if you want to pause it and have a read of this list, do it at your own leisure. Like I said, I'm not going to read all these numbers again, but have a pause and read if you want to. So Deadpool and Wolverine sits at 1.3 billion, number 23 on the all-time box office grossing list, which to be in the top 25, to even be in the top 50 is, you think of how many thousands and thousands and thousands of movies have been made since Hollywood started and since records have begun, keeping track of the box office revenues, thousands and thousands of movies, and to be in the top 25 is just absolutely just mind-blowing. And the fact that this has got to number 23, I'm so happy for the team. Like I said at the beginning, this is great. They said that the potential for a Deadpool 4 might not happen, and I'm like, there is no way. Absolutely, there is no way. It's like when the first Joker came out and they said, oh, we're not going to be doing a sequel. It's a one-off standalone. Joaquin Phoenix, he doesn't do sequels. The movie came out. It generated over $1 billion. He won an Oscar. And before you know it, the sequel was greenlit. So this movie coming out, generating over $1.3 billion. You're telling me that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds aren't going to be back in the MCU? Whether it's in their own movie again or whether it's part of, Avengers Secret Wars or something like that, they're going to be back. That amount of money sitting on the table in potential future projects, is not going to be ignored by the MCU representatives behind the scenes who are looking at the box office revenue. And yeah, they're going to be back. Mark my words for that, guys. But that's kind of where we are. So pretty impressive in its box office run. I just wanted to break this down and kind of jump into it, guys, and just show you kind of how impressive this movie has been, which is insane. So let's just wrap it up. Let's just do a summary quickly. So Deadpool and Wolverine domestically sits at number 6. So domestically for the MCU sits at number 6. For the MCU highest grossing movies, it sits at number 7. And then the all-time top lifetime grosses domestically, not just the MCU, pretty much all movies domestically, it sits at number 14. And top lifetime grosses worldwide for all movies, it sits at number 23. So, impressive accolades across the board here, guys. This is fantastic. So, guys, I throw it off to you. I apologize. I know there was a lot of numbers and a lot of me reading figures there, but it just goes to show when you look at this movie and its box office breakdown, just how impressive it's been and the amount of people that really enjoyed this movie and want more of the R-rated material. So, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. I throw it off to you guys. Comment down below. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. Did you see the movie? What did you enjoy about it? And did you expect it to hit this kind of milestone of 1.3 billion? Can't wait to hear what you have to say as always, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Hit that like and subscribe before you leave. And I'll see you in the next one.